They built empires, reshaped history, and inspired millions. But behind the titles and triumphs, a shared secret binds them: membership in the world's most mysterious brotherhood. Freemasonry has been shrouded in secrecy, myths, and conspiracy theories for centuries. But what's even more fascinating is who joined its ranks. This collection of stories will surprise you, filled with facts, dates, behind-the-scenes details, and questions that might challenge everything you thought you knew. Ready to be surprised? George Washington, the president who literally laid the Capitol's cornerstone. America's first president became a Mason long before he ever wore a general's uniform. On November 4, 1752, at just 20 years old, Washington was initiated into Fredericksburg Lodge in Virginia. Within a year, he earned the title of Master Mason, the fraternity's highest basic rank. Washington left his mark not just on American history, but on Masonic architecture too. On September 18, 1793, dressed in white gloves and a Masonic apron, he led the cornerstone-laying ceremony of the U.S. Capitol, performed strictly by the rituals of the Grand Lodge. When he died in 1799, his funeral included Masonic rites, and the apron gifted to him by French brethren in 1793 still resides in the Alexandria Washington Lodge Museum. Surprised? Does this change your view of the most honest man in America? Buzz Aldrin, the Freemason on the Moon. When Apollo 11 astronaut Buzz Aldrin descended onto the moon in July 1969, he made history, not only as the second man to walk on the lunar surface, but as a Freemason carrying a secret ritual with him. Aldrin brought a special deputation from the Grand Lodge of Texas, authorizing him to claim Masonic jurisdiction on the moon, a symbolic act approved by Clear Lake Lodge No. 1417 in Texas. Reports from the Masonic Service Association confirmed that Aldrin performed a brief, symbolic Masonic ceremony on the moon's surface. Though brief and unofficial, the act marks the only known Masonic ritual conducted off Earth. His home lodge, Montclair Lodge No. 144 in New Jersey, still records his affiliation. This moment blended space exploration with spiritual symbolism, a striking reminder that for some, brotherhood extends even into the cosmos. Have the Masons reached space? Which modern astronaut would you suspect next? Benjamin Franklin, Enlightenment diplomat in Masonic gloves. Founding father Benjamin Franklin became a Mason in 1731 at St. John's Lodge in Philadelphia and was elected Grand Master of Pennsylvania by 1734. That same year, he printed America's first Masonic book, Anderson's Constitutions, helping make Masonry fashionable among the colonial elite. The most iconic moment came in 1778 in Paris. At age 84 and gravely ill, Voltaire asked to join the fraternity. Franklin, then serving as U.S. ambassador to France, personally oversaw the ritual at the prestigious Lodge of the Nine Sisters. Holding Voltaire's hand, he later declared, "He died a brother, just as he lived a free man." Franklin saw Masonry as a science of virtue expressed through allegory and symbols. His Masonic ideals even influenced the U.S. Constitution's structure. His name appears in dozens of lodge records from both sides of the Atlantic. What did these two titans of reason discuss behind closed doors? Harry Truman, the president who lived 50 years in the lodge. Long before he became the 33rd president, Harry S. Truman joined Belton Lodge No. 450 in Missouri in 1909. He was so devoted that he memorized long Masonic rituals and served as worshipful master of his lodge. His love for Freemasonry ran deep. In the 1940s, while a U.S. Senator, he was elected Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Missouri, leading the fraternity at a statewide level while also campaigning for national office. In 1945, just months after becoming president, Truman was awarded the 33rd degree by the Scottish Rite, the highest honorary distinction. In 1959, he became the only U.S. president formally honored for 50 years of continuous Masonic service. He once said, "The principles of Masonry are the foundation of my public life." His speeches on fraternity, duty, and moral integrity continue to be quoted by Masonic lodges across the country. Mark Twain, the satirist with a cedar gavel. Samuel Clemens, known to the world as Mark Twain, joined Polar Star Lodge No. 79 in St. Louis in 1861. Although he withdrew from active membership as his literary career grew, he remained committed to Masonic ideals and often referenced them in his writing. While touring the Holy Land in 1867, Twain collected a piece of cedar wood from Lebanon, believed to be from the same forest used to build Solomon's temple. He had it fashioned into a ceremonial gavel and sent it back to his lodge. Inscribed on the handle was, "From the cedar of Lebanon, used by Solomon to build the temple." Even as a skeptic and satirist, Twain embraced the symbolic richness of Freemasonry, fusing irony and reverence in equal measure. Henry Ford, industrialist and idealist brother. Automotive pioneer Henry Ford was initiated into Palestine Lodge No. 357 in Detroit in 1894. Though not known for ritual participation, he quietly funded Masonic hospitals, homes for orphans, and vocational schools. His philanthropy, rooted in a belief that industry should serve humanity, resonated deeply with Masonic values. In 1940, the Scottish Rite awarded him the 33rd honorary degree, citing his contributions to civic welfare. Yet Ford was also a critic of centralized banks and elite financial institutions, a paradox that puzzled many, considering the fraternal networks he moved within. Some speculate that Ford's blend of anti-establishment rhetoric and fraternal loyalty helped shield him from political enemies. His legacy, both industrial and symbolic, still stirs debate today. J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI director who watched everyone, including his brothers. J. Edgar Hoover, the legendary first director of the FBI, was initiated into Federal Lodge No. 1 in Washington, D.C. in 1920. By 1955, he had received the 33rd honorary title from the Scottish Rite. Known for his secret files and surveillance networks, Hoover's Masonic connections granted him deep access into Washington's social elite. Many of his closest aides were also Masons, blurring the line between civic duty and secret fraternity. Though no direct evidence links Hoover's intelligence tactics to Masonic meetings, historians note the uncanny overlap between FBI influence and high-ranking Masons in government. Did the Brotherhood help fortify his power base? Clark Gable, Hollywood's king and naval brother. Clark Gable, the silver screen icon from Gone with the Wind, joined Beverly Hills Lodge No. 528 in 1933 at the height of his fame. But unlike many celebrities, Gable took the fraternity seriously. When World War II broke out, he enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Forces and served as an aerial gunner on bombing missions over Europe. Even in uniform, he wore his Masonic pendant, a token of stability in the chaos of war. In letters to friends, Gable described Masonry as the one place where no one asked for an autograph, only a handshake. For a man surrounded by fame, the lodge was his sanctuary. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the president who dreamed of a Masonic nation. FDR became a Mason in 1911 at Holland Lodge No. 8 in New York. Throughout his presidency, he maintained his fraternal ties, even initiating his sons into the Brotherhood in 1935. Roosevelt viewed Freemasonry not just as tradition, but as a model for civic virtue. He once said, "If Congress were made of Masons, this country would be ruled by fraternity, not lobbying." He continued attending rituals and corresponded with grand lodges across the nation. His Masonic values of service, equality, and brotherhood were evident in his New Deal programs and leadership style during the Great Depression and World War II.